Welcome to this section of the TI-89 calculator tutor. In this section we're going to continue working with matrices, which we learned how to create in the last section, and specifically here we're going to finally learn how to use matrices. So here we're going to learn how to do things like matrix multiplication, taking the inverse of a matrix, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to know is that the matrices, the matrix operations, live in the math menu under number 4, matrix. So we can go down to number 4 and fly that out. And we see we have a whole list of things we're going to learn how to use in the next few sections. So that's where most of the operations live. It's easier when dealing with matrices. You don't have to do this, but it's easier to go ahead and store them in variables if you're going to be doing a lot of multiplications and inverses and things like that. So let's go ahead and create a few quick matrices just to go from there. So remember how we do that. We go second function bracket, and we can create a matrix. We'll call it 1, 2, 3, and we need to put a semicolon for the next line, 4, 5, 6. Now you could create this inside of the matrix editor, that's fine, but for such a simple matrix we can go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and store that just for the sake of discussion in a variable that we're just going to call A. So we hit enter, and so now we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matrix stored in location A. Now the first thing you might want to learn how to do when you study matrices is how to multiply a matrix by a scalar number. In other words, like 3 or something times the value of this matrix. And all that really does is multiply each element inside the matrix by the number that you have on the outside. So if you'd like to do that, you just pull it off just like straight multiplication. 2 times A. And you go ahead and hit enter. And there you go, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So what you do when you scalar multiplication of a matrix like this is you're literally multiplying each element inside your matrix by the number that you have on the outside. You can go 10 times matrix A, for instance. And you'll take your original matrix of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and make it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So it's very simple. It's the first operation that you use when you're doing your matrix operations. All right. Much like scalar multiplication, sometimes it's useful to negate a matrix, which is basically multiplying it by -1. So you could take -1 and multiply it, but the calculator understands if you just put a negative sign and then your matrix letter, even if you don't put the multiplication symbol there, it understands that you're trying to negate that matrix. So it's going to take your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's going to put negative signs in front because that's you put a negative sign out there. All right. Now, in order to add matrices together or subtract them, the dimensions of the matrix that you have must be the same. So in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 2 rows and 3 columns. So let's create a second matrix of a same dimension to go ahead and try to do that. So let's call this one, 7, 8, 9, and on the next line we will put a semicolon, and let's just put this one 0, 5, 10. So we'll close this guy off. And let's go ahead and store this in location B, right? So here we have 2 matrices, okay? So let's go ahead and just kind of put everything on the screen so we can read it. So what we have is A, this is our matrix A, this is our matrix B. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have 7, 8, 9, 0, 5, 10. And if we want to add them together, we'll just do A plus B. You literally just type it in just like you do in your textbook, and you can see that it's adding everything together. You can see the bottom row of the top matrix, 4 plus 0 is 4, 5 plus 5 is 10, 6 plus 10 is 16. And if you scroll up, you could convince yourself that it's adding the first 2 rows together as well. Now, if you try to do this with 2 matrices that are not the same size, let's go ahead and create a third matrix right now. Let's create a square matrix. Let's create a 2, 9. We'll create a quick 2 by 2 matrix, 7, 8. Okay, and we'll close that matrix off, and let's store that one in location C, right? So now we have a 2 by 2 in location C. Let's try to add A and C together and see what happens. Let's go ahead and get rid of these things. And it's pretty obvious that A and C are different dimensions. So A plus C. And you're like, okay, I want to do this addition, and the calculator says dimension mismatch. And that's because since you're adding each element of the matrix together, if the arrangement of the matrices don't match, if the dimensions don't match, then you can't really add them up element by element. So that's why that doesn't work. All right, but much like you can do addition of matrices, you can just do subtraction of matrices just the same way. So we could go A minus B if we'd like, and we'll get a valid answer. So it's just subtracting those two guys off, just as you might guess. All right, now matrix multiplication. Matrix multiplication is probably one of the most important things that we all do in matrix math. And to be honest with you, when you're first learning matrix arithmetic, matrix multiplication, a matrix times another matrix is really one of the things that confuses students the most early on. And it's because it's not quite as simple as just multiplying the elements together. I mean, like addition, you just add them together. Subtraction, you just add them together. Multiplication, there's a little more work involved in doing it, so you have to play around with it. So in order to pull off multiplication, we need to, I think, create another matrix. If I want to take A and multiply it by B, it's not really going to work, because basically what happens is the number of rows that you have in the first matrix that you're trying to multiply, that has to equal the number of columns in the second matrix that you have. So if I try to take A times B right now, I should get a dimension mismatch. And that's going to go into the theory of how you multiply these matrices together by hand. And this is not a class in matrix arithmetic. This is a class in how to teach you how to use your calculator. But if you go get the Matrix Algebra Tutor DVD, it'll tell you exactly how to multiply matrices by hand, and so you can get all that practice that you're going to need. But just suffice to say that in order to multiply two matrices together, the dimensions have to be right. So let me go and create another matrix. And this one we'll do 1, 2, but then we'll put a semicolon, and we'll do 3, 4, and then we'll put another semicolon, and we'll do 5, 6. So here I've created a matrix, basically with 2 columns. And let me store that one. Hit the store button, and I'll put that one in location D. Now you see how this is kind of like a tall vertical matrix? And matrix A, let me go ahead and actually clear the screen to make it clear. Matrix A is a matrix that looks like this. It's kind of like a rectangle laying on its side, right? And matrix D, which we just created, is sort of the same way, but it's a rectangle, so to speak, vertically. So here you see the number of columns of this matrix is equal to the number of rows of my other matrix. And the number of rows of this matrix, I have 2 rows here, is equal to the number of columns of my other matrix. So the dimensions are set up properly so that I can do A times D. This is how you do matrix multiplication. You just use the multiplication symbol that you use for everything else. And it'll go calculate that and give you the answer. So it's important to note that up until now we've been doing these matrix arithmetic operations, but we have not actually had to go into the matrix menu yet. So I guess what I'm trying to make sure you understand is that for the basic matrix operations, you don't even have to go into a menu. You just create your matrices, store them in a variable to help you, and if you want to add them or subtract them, you just use the buttons on your calculator. If you want to multiply them, you just use the buttons on your calculator as well. And that's fine. If the dimensions are wrong on the matrices that you're multiplying together or adding or subtracting, the calculator is going to tell you that. All right, now when you start getting beyond the basic add, subtract, multiply of matrices, then you're going to need to start going into the menu to get into the more, I don't want to say they're really much more advanced, but slightly more advanced or slightly less common things that you'll be doing with matrices. So let me clear the screen. Now remember, I have a matrix stored in A, in B, I have a square matrix in C, and I have another matrix in D. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the menu and see what we have to do here. So the first guy on the list is the transpose. That's what the T means, transpose, T for transpose. All right, so what that means is, let me go ahead and get out of this menu here. If I put A on the screen here, that's what that matrix looks like. It's like I said, a rectangle kind of laying on its side, right? So it's a horizontal rectangle, sort of like that. All right, now if I take A and I put it on the stack like that, whoops, put A and put it on the stack like that, then while it's on the stack, I go into the math menu, number 4 for the matrix menu, and go ahead and hit the transpose button, this guy right here. Then it puts the T right next to my A above, just like you would see it written in the textbook. This is the transpose of matrix A. And what it does is it kind of flips the matrix around so that instead of laying on its side, it's laying vertically. So you see how you had 1 and 4 here? Well, here we have 1 and 4 here. 2 and 5 become 2 and 5. 3 and 6 become 3 and 6. And that's what the transpose operation does. It basically rearranges the elements of the matrix to kind of flip it over, so to speak. And that's all discussed in your textbook. But if you ever need to find the transpose of a matrix, you can certainly do that in your calculator. And you can do things like I'm not going to actually do the calculation because the dimensions may not be correct, but you could do B, minus the transpose of A, for instance. And if the dimensions were correct, the calculator would go and take the transpose, and then if the dimensions were right, it would subtract it from matrix B, and then it would get the answer. So you can build expressions on the command line that involve your matrices and operations of your matrices just fine. Now, the other thing I want to say is that you don't have to store these matrices and variables to operate on them. If you want to type the matrices in and then hit the multiplication symbol and then type another matrix in and then hit enter, it will do the math. It's just, as you can see, entering a lengthy matrix is kind of, takes a lot of screen real estate. So it just makes sense, if you're going to do this a lot, to go ahead and just store those in temporary variables and do your math after that. Now, one of the things that you'll probably want to do right away when you start doing matrix multiplication after doing these basic operations is how to take the inverse of a matrix. Taking the inverse of a matrix actually takes some work by hand to do it on paper. So knowing how to do it in your calculator is very, very useful and actually very easy. So if you want to take the inverse of a matrix, notice that in matrix C, I believe, we have a square matrix. So let's go ahead and take the inverse of this guy. You really don't need to dive into a menu to do it. The way that you do it is you just put the variable name up there and raise it to the -1 power. And if you think about it in your book, when you read about the inverse of a matrix, you'll see it written as a matrix with a little -1 out here. So when you hit enter, the calculator is going to go and perform the inverse operation, basically, of finding the inverse of matrix C, and it's going to give it to us. It's going to have some fractions in there because fractions are, that's just how you end up calculating the thing. It goes beyond the scope of what we're talking about here, but that's why we see some fractions here. If you want to convert that guy, just hit squiggly equals, and there you go. So now you've got your decimals in place there. So remember, though, that to take the inverse, the matrix has to be of special dimension. It has to be of square dimension. So if you put matrix A, for instance, and you try to raise it to the -1 power, then what you're going to get is an error for dimension, so it's not going to work. So matrix C was already square, so it was no problem. So to do the inverse, it's very simple. You do it right with raising it to the -1 power. Now, you can actually raise a matrix to any power you want. -1 power is sort of like the inverse, and so that's so commonly used. But if you ever did have to raise a square matrix to the power of 3, for instance, you just do it just like any other variable, raised to the power of 3. This means matrix C times matrix C times matrix C, and it's going to do all of that multiplication and give you back the product of those multiplications. So to do the inverse, you just raise it to the -1 power. To do any other power you'd like, you just type it in just like you would think. And if you get a dimension problem, it's because the matrix that you had isn't properly formatted to do an inverse. And that goes into the theory of how we're actually calculating them. It's beyond the scope of this lesson, but that's what it means. So to check what you have, like say, whoa, I got an error. What's going on here? Then just go look in there and say, and you can look at the dimensions and say, okay, do I have this guy formatted properly or what? And go from there. Now, there's one final thing that I want to show you before we close this lesson out, and that is how to take the determinant of a square matrix. We talked about how to take the inverse. Now we're going to talk briefly how to take the determinant, which again, by hand, takes a long time if the matrix is large, but the calculator can handle it no problem. So just go into the math menu and go down to the matrix menu, and we already talked about the transpose of a matrix. Just go right down below it to determinant. Let's go ahead and hit determinant. You need to put the matrix in there, so go ahead and put matrix C in there and close the parentheses off, and it's going to go ahead and perform the determinant operation there. Now notice the determinant that we got from this matrix is -47. When you calculate a determinant, you will never get a matrix back. You will always get a number back. In this case, it happens to be -47. Now if you recall, let's go take C and let's raise it to the power of -1, which is taking its inverse. The inverse was, here we have -8/47, 9/47, 7/47, -2/47 for the inverse of this matrix. Notice the determinant is negative 47. Do you think this is a coincidence here? Well, it's not a coincidence. When you calculate the inverse of a matrix by hand, what you do is you first calculate the determinant of the matrix, and you use this in a subsequent calculation. So in order to find the inverse, you first find the determinant, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that's why these 47s are running around everywhere, and that's why the fractions really popped up. So I wanted to cover determinant and inverse together because they kind of go hand in hand. They're used for different purposes, but they kind of go hand in hand. So that pretty much concludes this section. We've actually covered a tremendous amount of material here. There are lots more matrix operations down the road. The calculator can actually do more matrix operations than I plan to actually cover, because some of them are very obscure and you're very unlikely to use them all, but certainly this section has covered the core ones, and I'll cover some additional lessons and operations in the next section. We have learned how to do scalar multiplication, multiplying a matrix by a number. We've learned how to add, subtract matrices. We've learned how to multiply a matrix by another matrix. We've learned how to take the inverse of a matrix. We've learned how to take the determinant of a matrix. And we've learned how to do that quickly and easily. And so do yourself a favor, store your matrices into a variable. It's just going to make the command line cleaner and you won't make as many mistakes. If you type a giant matrix in here and then hit the inverse button, then it's going to give you an answer back. And if you typed everything if you typed everything into the calculator correctly, it'll be great. But if you make a mistake entering the matrix in, then it's going to be hard to get back and find out what you did wrong because you never stored it in a variable. So you won't be able to just put matrix C up here and see what you input to begin with. Maybe you forgot a negative sign here. To go track that down later, if you don't have it stored in a variable, it's going to be very difficult, especially if it's scrolled off the calculator screen. So enter your equations in your matrices in here. Use the matrix writer if it's easier for you, and just go to town on these simpler matrix operations.